This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, thank you. So, as I said, we downloaded the Chrome driver and given the path here, and I have the URL for the Selenium test case, I mean, uh, for the application to open, and then this test case is going to type in this information. This is full, and then finally, I'm giving expected value and actual value same, because to make this test case successful. That's it, as simple as that. Okay, now let's go and run this test. I can open this test explorer and I can run this actually. This is how the testers, right, they test it from the Visual Studio. So it actually opened, you know, uh, our application, and it maximized as well. uh, and I have this debug point, right, where it is minimize. Okay, actually I think this is having a problem here. What it is saying, test method 1 element is not interactable. That means the text box is not available probably. Let me go and see this actually. Text box 1. Now I need to open that your journeys, because the UI is there basically. What's happening? I understood that is not looking like a text box basically. When I opened it, it is looking like some label or something. Okay, this is the one. I kept it. Let me run this. I need to set it as a startup project, so that when I run it, this project will be open. Uh, so it is taking some time to get started basically. Okay, let me run this. The laptop became slow. Sorry, generally it will not take this much time. So go to about. It is not showing as a text box. That is the problem. Just give me a second. Let me fix it. What is the problem here? It's not showing me here. Right? No, this in solution. um, Run this. Sorry guys, I should have done this earlier. Now you are spending time. But it's a learning as well for you. It is taking still the old one, right? It's the old one. It is not reflecting here. Oh, sorry, man. You see the file path here? C colon users desktop. I opened some other file actually. I mean, okay, okay. It's my problem. I should have opened from here. About. You know what is that folder? We have the published folder, right? On desktop. Here also we have the code, right? Yesterday we published it. I opened it, but I probably in caching in the Visual Studio it was there basically. This is about it is showing. You got it right. That's the reason the changes are not appearing. Let me change it. Next. Now it works. I'm making in a different location. You guys can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes,
I
Purna.
see hello.
Yes,
Yeah, I
Purna.
see hello here. Okay, thanks. I see hello here, but it's not a text box. I want it to be text box. I changed it. Yeah. Oh, I have to use the text area. Then only it will. Now we can see the text box, right? Okay. Whatever I given in that one, it is showing the hello. Okay. So let me publish this to our website basically. This is a manual way. Okay. Take it and right click. Sorry, on the project you need to say publish. So this is the location we selected, right? Delete existing files and copy the new files. That's what we said. Publish. Okay. Done basically. Now let me open this folder. Okay. I have the latest content. Okay. Let me take this. Copy. Let's go to that C colon INetwork. C colon INetwork www root your journeys. Delete everything here. paste it, latest. That's it. Just for our verification purpose, we'll open this one. Okay, you already have this one, right? Let me refresh. So I got it basically, the latest code. Now close this everything. Okay. Go to Selenium and now run the test case. It should work. Now it will identify this test box one. Go here, run all tests. Browser is open. You see, browser is open, and then it typed information called this is Purna, right? And if we go here, the test case is successful because I'm always making it successful in the code. In the code, this is always successful. Actual value, expected value. So there is no logic here. Just I want to make some test case. That's it. Okay. Now good. We have the. I mean, now you see how test unit Selenium test case will run. When they run it, it will open the browser. It will do all the keying in the information, different controls like test boxes, or select something from the drop downs and click on submit. Such kind of things your Selenium test case will do. Based on the result, they will say they will make the test case successful or failure basically. Okay. Now we need to go and uh, publish this to our remote repository so that I can have a CI pipeline for this basically. Guys, one thing you need to understand, this is my local address, right? If I go and deploy this code into some server, this path will not be there, and people can deploy it to anywhere. So you need to make it what do you say, configurable. Okay, for that reason the developers need to, rather than this one, they need to use the following line. The same thing, but we are using an environment variable. So the environment variable will be configured in our in our release pipeline variable section basically. Whatever the path you put it in the variable section will be taken by this code. Okay. And then URL will be the URL of your server. Your application URL on the server basically. Okay. I'm going to run this unit test case on the same server where we are deploying the code, so localhost will work for me. All you need to do is you need to uh, you know comment the above one, which is pointing to my local path, and use the next one, which will take the path from the variables. Okay. So your role will not be like this, right? The developers will keep it in the remote repository, and it will tell you this is my test case project, like that. Okay. Now let me go and push it to my changes, Selenium, commit all and push. It is not yet in my Azure DevOps project, so publish git repo. Okay. Organization is online travel only. If you remember, click on the advanced. From this, we are going to put in the online reservation system project. So when I select this project, it is going to create a new repository. Let me show you. Dev. Let me close this. Okay. under online reservation system, you only have now one repository, right? Once I publish it, you will get Selenium repository as well. Okay, go here, just give the repository name as it is, published repository. So now I have two projects in my repository. Sorry, two repositories in the same project, Azure DevOps project. Okay, each repository will contain one different solution. Okay, it's completed. Now if you go and refresh this, you will also have the Selenium test, right? You have the code here. Let's go and create a pipeline for this. I need a pipeline for this. New pipeline, because I need the artifacts of Selenium. Use classic editor, Selenium test, master. Okay, continue. So since this is a class library, you need to use a .NET Desktop template. So I'm not going to write any, I'm not going to test this test application. Okay, disable this. I don't need this. You just need to build this solution. That's it. I'm not making any changes here because as simple as this itself is a test project. Save it. Then sure. 2019 server. Run this. If it is any other project, you need to test the project using Visual Studio test cases, right? Sorry, Microsoft unit testing tools. But this itself is a test case project. So while it is going on, I made some change in this your journeys, right? In this about page, this I made it, right? I will push this change as well to the server. But before that, let me remove that. What do you say? You have continuous integration trigger on this pipeline, right? Uh, Build pipeline. Open this web project one. This is our web project, right? Go to triggers. Remove this. Okay, I don't want to do any continuous integration now. Now go and push this code as well. Changes. Text box added. Okay. Now I'm done with my Visual Studio stuff. I should have all the code what I need here. Okay. Change to repository, online reservation system. You can check the code now. That is there in views, home, about. So I have this code, whatever I want. Okay, that's all I need here, and I have my Selenium test case code as well. And this here, okay. Now artifacts for Selenium test case is also ready. So this is named as a desktop CI basically. You can rename it as I told you, right? When you are editing this, you can rename here, right? You can simply say Selenium as well for better understanding. Okay. Now, as I told you, this Selenium test case should be integrated with your CD pipeline. So our CD pipeline is, what is that? This is the one, right? A new release pipeline. We did not rename it basically. Okay, you can rename it. your journeys release. So where I'm going to add this Selenium test case, I'm going to add this Selenium test case in my QA stage. Means once the code is deployed to the QA, I'm going to execute this Selenium test case. Okay. For that, the first step is you need to have the artifacts, right? Go and add one more artifact here under artifact section. Where you are taking from? You are taking it from your build pipeline. The project is project is this one only. Your pipeline name is Selenium, and you say always take the latest version. Just add it. Okay. Now let's go to your stage. You need to configure uh, another job here to run your Selenium test cases basically. Okay. Now let me open. Where is my PPT? So what are all the things you need to do as an administrator will be not. So you need to add an agent job to your release pipeline. Earlier you were using a deployment group job. Now you are going to add an agent job to any stage wherever you want to run your Selenium test cases. You can add it in UAT, QA, prod, wherever you want to run your unit test cases. So when you are using that agent job in your release pipeline, these are all the things that you need to uh, keep in mind. You need to set up the self-hosted agent. So far we are using the Microsoft hosted agents. Okay. And then deployment group jobs. Now we are going to use self-hosted agent. That means you can run these test cases even from your laptop in the network as well, as long as your laptop is able to connect to Azure DevOps. Okay. Or you can install. I mean, you can install this self-hosted agent on any server as well, as long as you have the connectivity between your server and the Azure DevOps. Okay. And then we're going to run in interactive mode. Interactive mode means when you run the Selenium test case, it opened the browser, right? And it we were seeing what is happening. That is called the interactive mode. That means when you run this release pipeline as well, you can visually see browser opening and the system typing in something. All those things can be seen. So that is important. Run interactive mode. And when we are running that configuring this agent job, we have to use admin credentials to run the job, and we need to ensure that you know the required data is there. I mean, Visual Studio, sorry, that .NET framework is there. We already have it, and we also need to have the Chrome driver somewhere in your server, basically. Wherever you are running this Selenium test cases, that should have the Chrome driver, and that is the path we are going to put it in our variable section as well. Okay, that's about agent job. And after that, you will select the self-hosted agent after you configure it, and then you will add a task that is Visual Studio Test Platform Installer, and then you will add another task that is Visual Studio Test, and finally you will run the release definition. First, let's go ahead and add an agent job to your pipeline. So right now, these are all the deployment group job type, right? This is a deployment group job web and named it as a web deployment. Next deployment group job is named it as an API. Now go ahead and add another type of the job, that is add an agent job, and you can rename it to Selenium. And what is the agent pool you are going to select? Azure pipelines means your Microsoft hosted agents. So far, this is what we were selecting in our CI and CD. Now we are going to select default. Okay. Right now, basically it should be saying default 0 basically, but I'm using the old, uh, you know, uh, application. I have some agents basically. Let me show those agents, but I'm not going to use them. Okay. Don't worry. Let me open it in another tab. I have it here, right? Go to project settings, and then you have the agent pools here under project settings. Go here under default pipe. You have Azure pipelines and default. Click on default. I have some agents here. Old one. What I do, I'll keep it, or I'll delete this one so that you will not have any confusion. Delete this. So now my project also doesn't have any self-hosted agents. Okay. Now if you go here, if you refresh this, what it is saying, default no agents. On each server you will have a one agent only, right? You don't need more than one. Now it is showing default no agent. Select this one. Okay. Now I need to go and configure my server with self-hosted agent basically. Okay, this is one. We will do it because right now I don't have time now. We will go and add the tasks and we'll configure it tomorrow. So this is the one I need to do it. Okay, after that I need to add a tasks basically. What tasks I am saying? Go ahead and add a task called Visual Studio Test Platform Installer. Visual Studio Test Platform Installer. Add it. And another one is Visual Studio Test. Okay, I already have it here. Okay, let me come back to here. This here you don't need to do anything. This is all about when you run this release pipeline, right? Your server should have the software that is required to run your Selenium test cases. So this Visual Studio Test Platform installer downloads all that required software uh, from Nuget into your server basically. It is always late. You can select anything, includes pre-release or latest stable. Okay, that's all. This is equivalent to your Nuget in a CI pipeline. Okay, and the next one is test assemblies. What project you are going to test it basically. By default it will give some regular expression here because most of the times what happens, your test case project name will include something like a test, actually Selenium test, or your web test, etc. But you can give the full name here. What happens if it is a star test star, it will go and look into the working directory where all the code is copied, and it will take that test here. If you are having more than one test case project, then it is a problem. So it is better to give it the full name, Selenium test.dll. So as I told you, when you build the solution or project, the name of the DLL will be the name of your project. You saw that earlier. So Selenium test.dll. If you still don't know how to verify what is the DLL to be used, go to your Selenium, you go to your local project, uh, open in a physical folder, go to bin, and here you see Selenium test. Rest everything is your platform related, and you have the Chrome driver, and then Selenium test.dll. This is the one you need to, because this is where your code is there, your test case code is there, and that has to be mentioned here. Star star means it will go and check in the root path, because in the artifacts basically you already added the artifacts, right? It will go and check for that. Okay, so rest everything you don't need to do anything. Okay, uh, the only other thing that you need to do is under select test platform, using what is the version that you need to use. Don't from here you need to use installed by tools installer. See, it is saying latest, etc. Installed by tools installer, you need to select this option. That means whatever is installed by this first task is going to be used basically. So this one is going to install some software on the laptop, so on your server, and the same server on the same software is going to be used by this vs test task basically. This, what is this vs test task is going to do, it will take this code in this Selenium test.dll and it will execute. For that execution, use the software given by the first task. Okay, so this is the one you need to remember. change this to install by tools installer, change your project name here to reflect your test case project, and here you just add this one, leave it everything as it is. In the agent job, you have to select the default, rather than Azure pipelines, you have to select the other one. You can see it as a private basically. Since I don't have any jobs now in a self-hosted agent, it is showing no agents. What we do tomorrow, in one of our servers, let me save it first. Okay, in one of our servers, we will configure the self-hosted agent, and then we will run this pipeline. What happens? It will deploy the code to the server, and then it will execute the Selenium test case. If it is successful, then the deployment will be successful. Otherwise, it will show it as a failed one. Okay, then someone will have to take some action here. The test cases are failed. We need to roll back. That's what the team says. Okay. If you have some time, I will go and do it. Otherwise, because it takes 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes, we can do that tomorrow. We will start from here where we start. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Any doubts so far? What you're saying?
No.
Okay. So for your interviews, you need to remember these things. Hey, if you want to run Selenium test case in interactive mode, what are all the things you need to do in your release pipeline? Go ahead and add a agent job, and ensure that you are doing all these steps while configuring the agent job. And after that, you need to use this task: Visual Studio Test Platform Installer and Visual Studio Test. And I shown those uh, configuration types. Right? Change your project name and use that option installed by Tools Installer. That's it. And you need the Chrome driver. As long as you remember these things, you are good. You will follow
Kumar,
the same thing. Yep.
did you miss any slides at the starting of the class? Start of the class.
No, no,
At the
no.
time you didn't practice, nothing like.
No, nothing is missed.
Okay.
I'll go in order basically. See, whatever you see here, right? We explained yesterday, right? Like in development environment, you have some configuration entries. QA environment, you will have some configuration entries, etc. Right? That we seen it yesterday in action,
Yeah.
right? That's the reason I skipped it, okay, because there is
No,
nothing here.
no.
Yeah.
Actually, morning you didn't share the screen at the start, right? So that's why.
Oh, okay, okay. This is the same thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, fine.
I was trying to explain basically. I was not realizing that I did not share it. Okay,
Okay.
the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other question? Any doubts? Let me know. This is your actual work. What you are doing. Whatever we done in the videos today is not your work, but you need to know, right? In the back, what happens in the background, etc. That's the reason I was explaining.
Yeah.
Kiran, Lohit, any doubts?
No, for now.
Okay. Okay then. Uh, I think we'll meet on Monday. If you guys are okay, I can take one session on Saturday or Sunday to compensate one of our previous leaves, basically. Or else, the way we done yesterday, we took 20 minutes extra, right? We can do the same thing on Monday and Tuesday as well, so that we will be on that time. What do you guys think?
Uh, I'm going to my native now.
Okay. Okay. No, no, I'm good. I'm just asking because we missed two sessions. That's the reason.
Yeah, Monday you can